Well, if you throw enough half-cooked spaghetti at the wall, some of it's bound to stick. And that's the way I've been viewing Amiga over the last couple of years. The way they've been releasing new specials and sort of under the radar updates. Now, in this video, let's debate Amiga's approach. Are they acting in their own best interests, or is this self-harm and a sign of desperation? I'm Andy and welcome to the English Watch. Now, this channel is about me and my watch collecting journey, an amateur enthusiast with an eye for detail, helping like-minded individuals like you start your watch collecting journey. Now, if you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up, and whilst you're there, why not subscribe? It genuinely helps. Now, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the Amiga product strategy meetings. Now, I've been in a few similar situations, in the past over my career, and I know the type of sort of great idea that sort of tends to not initially pass a sniff test when the adults are in the room, but then all of a sudden, it's strategy, and that's what the top brass want, despite this collection of the world's experts. Now, remember back in 2022, we had a whole swathe of new product releases for the Amiga Days event. And that was just as we came out of the COVID era with some genuine coherence and joined up thinking. Now, in 2022, we had the Aquaterra Shades editions, the Speedmaster 57, and the surprise with a new line of ultra deep Seamasters, which, we all thought, me included, were the new Planet Oceans. Now, this was a pretty creative and interesting novelty that was slightly marred by all of those colourways. Now, this is typical Amiga, where one or two colours with interchangeable bracelets and a rubber strap would have been perfect. And I think the so-called invention of that new Amiga steel was totally lost, where just sticking to titanium would have been perfect, really. So what happened next was a combination of manufacturing and component supply issues, partially driven by the COVID hangover that sort of frustrated the authorised dealers and potential customers with a lack of supply. And then over the next 18 months, the watches slowly dripped into the showrooms, mainly the Amiga-owned boutiques, and now over 2 years later, pretty much fully available. Now, contrast that with Tudor, who make a reasonable product drop each year with almost immediate availability shortly after. Now, these 2022 models are now available mostly with a discount. Even the Aquaterras, where they were once hot due to that scarcity. And speaking to my local sort of Amiga AD, the Ultra Deep rarely gets a look in. They just don't sell. So what is the current state of play? And we'll get back to that Amiga product strategy meeting in a minute, as there's plenty to say. So take a stroll down your local high street and peek into the authorised dealer window. Pop in for a coffee and a chat. See what's going on. What I found is a little bit of despair and frustration aimed squarely at our favourite watch brand. Now, in the cabinets, there's plenty of stock available to try on, haggle a price and take away on the day. But you won't find any of the new stuff. No. The new stuff is reserved for the ever-growing number of Amiga-owned boutiques. Even stores that look like Amiga boutiques aren't getting the product. So, what's happening? Well, in my view, and this is by no means fact, just my own musings, is for the following two reasons. Number one, there's just too much unsold stock languishing in at the dealer network. Omega want the dealers to offload this product without the distraction of the new product. Most passing trade who aren't sort of plugged into the watch matrix won't necessarily know there's new stuff out there, or how old the product lines available are. If they ask for a cheeky 10%, they'll be rewarded and probably leave happy with their lot, which may be the only luxury watch they own. Number two, pricing. Amiga is attacking price on many fronts. Firstly, there's the year-on-year price rises that have risen more than a few eyebrows in the dealer network from the conversations I've had. There is, after all, a ceiling to the price people are willing to pay for something available immediately. And I remember back in 2018 when I bought my Planet Ocean, a watch found in any cabinet these days took a few days to order in. And, I was willing to wait because it felt right. Now, I was still offered a discount and a freebie without trying too hard. Now, I appreciate they shouldn't advertise and shout about this, but discounts are still available. You just need to hold your nerve. Now, as a matter of principle, I hate the fact that discounts are even available for new watches. But, the genie is out of the bottle. Now, there's always someone in the office that got more of a discount, or someone on Facebook group who got even more. this sort of waters down that sort of feeling of attainment and reward. Now, the obvious answer is to not engage in the discussion. Just wear it and enjoy. But the internet gives access to information, and you can tell that most go on after the purchase for some kind of affirmation of their choice, only to be told they paid too much. Not great, really. So what we have is new pieces going to the boutiques and old stock being pushed hard by the dealers. Want a white dial Speedmaster or the first Omega in space? No problem from the boutique. In fact, I've been offered a few. Want one from your local goldsmiths? Dream on. They haven't seen one. So let's go back to that product strategy meeting. I say strategy meeting. The way it feels to me is Omega are just trying to ride a wave of hype by releasing niche and special anniversary pieces that are not easy to come by, in the hope potential buyers who drop into legacy pieces at the local authorised dealer rather than leaving disappointed. Is that a strategy? Well, maybe. I mean, you also have the case where parallel model lines turn up unannounced, like the recent no-date Seamaster Diver 300M. And in my view, a very nice watch, which I've tried on. But it sort of contradicts the regular 300M, as the dial and crystal are different. Now, on the face of it, a good move to use the layout of the Bond, No Time to Die, and the recent 60th anniversary Bond models. To sort of create that harmonious offering with a touch of genuine design flair, with that retro-like crystal in lieu of something simple, something cheaper. Similar story with the Aquaterra, where the models are slowly being replaced dial colour at a time with a new bracelet and sort of micro adjustment. A much improved bracelet, I hasten to add, but unless you're in the know, you only see what you see in the cabinets, and even online it's not obvious what the changes are. Now I go back to the statement I heard from an Omega boutique last year that Omega don't tend to announce new or replacement models unless there's a significant caliber change. Maybe, but we're looking here at massive oversupply. Slow drip feed of updated old models mixed in so as not to shock the market away from existing offerings. We've also got these new parts bin models as well. No new calibers mean existing case sizes can be reused for new model ranges at lower cost. This gives the allure of new products on the high street, but without the need to change anything expensive. And things collectors care about, like thinner movements, cases, and more refined bracelets. Now, if we go back in time, I could see Omega having a single event in 2024 that announced a new Diver 300M, with a new wave dial, bracelet options, and crystal. You could have a date or a no-date variant, but be in no doubt this is the replacement model of the 2018 Diver 300M. I mean, it has the same name after all. And this would be a good strategy, being to move away from the 90s tank track bracelet, the open wave dial from 2018, a positive and subtle change that keeps the Diver 300M core in the catalogue with an evolution rather than revolution that distances itself from the aesthetic alignment of the new Tag Aqua Racer 300. That has started to look worthy contender, and for £2,000 less and nearly 2mm thinner than the Omega for the same depth rating, to the average consumer, that's not to be sniffed at. Now, during this launch, you'd see alignment on the website as the new model comes in and the old one is swept away to give clarity. And if planned in advance, the existing stocks would be sort of whittled down enough to not be a problem. But given Omega makes so many variants of all their watches and all are generally available, you can imagine the amount of stock that needs to be out in the market to service the range. What we have instead is a blend of new and old, which is confusing. Same name, different specs, different pricing. It's not a good look and just makes the range incoherent and bloated. So, I wish Omega the best of luck. They've been my favourite brand for decades, but my patience is wearing thin. I think the new Diver 300M is a massive upgrade on the 2018 model. I've tried both, and although I can't quite get the mesh bracelet to work, I'm sure there's a shorter version out there that fits me better. That move away from that 90s bracelet is the right thing to do. So, enough of the specials and anniversary pieces, please. Let's have a solid product drop this year. I want to see a full replacement for the Planet Ocean and the Globemaster. Well overdue. I'd like to see these launched with thinner movements or a design that allows a couple of millimetres to be shaved off the thickness. IWC did this really well with the new Portuguesa last year. Same movement, thinner case. Let's have an overhaul of the Diver 300M. Offer a clear and unambiguous model lineup. With common bracelets, common straps. Ditch the Chronoscope collection from the Speedmaster range. It's superfluous and irrelevant. And finally, Amiga, decide what the Speedmaster is. Are they manual wind or not? The current auto winding movement is just too thick, and removing the winding rotor for the new Meteorite and the 57 models just isn't good enough. Manual wind for the traditional professional model Moonwatches for sure, but develop a thinner auto winder for everything else. Now, as an aside, I was in the Regent Street boutique the other week to try on the new Speedmaster Meteorite, and a gentleman came in to look at the same watch. Now, he must have seen it in the window, and his first comment was, "Does it have a battery?" Now, this is a customer that will be back in 2 days to complain that his watch is stopped. But also goes to show where most buyers are out there in the world, unable to see past the aesthetic of the watch, and genuinely surprised to find that these watches don't have batteries. I remember having lunch with a colleague last year. He showed me his Hublot, I forget which model it was, and he remarked how great it was that it wound itself. Remarkable. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on this subject. A bit of a soapbox, but hey, I'm an Omega fan, as you know. Are your observations the same, or am I smoking something? Leave your comments below. I'd love to read them. And while you're there, why not subscribe and help drive the algorithm to help grow the channel and give it the platform it deserves. Anyway, I'm Andy. This has been The English Watch. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.